What's up, guys? This is Chad checking in for another comms check. Man, I'm getting ready to do Resurrected. I got a few minutes here, so I thought, why not check in with my people? You guys, the Body of 3 to 7 Project. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Hey, I got good news. We're building a podcast studio. Yeah, we're building it. We're not having it built. We're building it. I just framed it up and got it closed in yesterday. And so tomorrow we're going to wire it up, and then we got to finish out the inside and get it all, nice and a really cool space for us to do the podcast. My ultimate vision is to set some cameras up in there so we can start filming these things and putting them on YouTube. For those of you that like to watch the conversations on YouTube, I think that'll be really cool to be able to add that to the show. You guys have really been encouraging me greatly to push forward. The reviews that you guys have left us on Apple Podcast Player. I see you guys sharing the episodes on Instagram. I see all this stuff, man. And it encourages me greatly. So, we're building the studio out. We're going to take the show to the next level. I mean, it's going to be so cool to have a really... Dude, I'm in an empty room right now at my old house. I told you guys that already. And it's not conducive to really audio quality, or just it's not really a cool, like I couldn't film in here. You guys would probably laugh at me. It wouldn't really be worth watching. So it's interesting. I think a lot of people might look at me from the outside, 3 to 7 Project, whatever. People that don't know me, and they think, I wonder what kind of life Chad lives. And I've got a little bit of presence on social media, and I get to go do some cool stuff. But ultimately, guess what my favorite lifestyle is? A quiet life where I mind my own business and I work with my hands. Now, I don't necessarily have a lot of free time, but we want to get this podcast studio up. So I'm having to call everyone I know to try to learn a little bit about how to frame a building in. And I'm on YouTube and, the whole 9 yards. I'm basically learning this thing as I go. And we go to town and, man, we do it. And me and little brother and my dad and my father-in-law, we all get out there and we frame this building in and got a really cool space rolling. You know what? It's like anything else. It requires something called ingenuity. I demand innovation from myself and my teammates. I demand innovation. And that's really all it was having a base understanding, the knowledge, the basis, knowledge of maybe how to get started on this thing. And then I figured it out. It's just being ingenuitive as you run into little problems and angles and measurements and little things that you just fix the problem, right? But the whole reason that I guess I had to go and decide to do this on my own, because I want it done. I want it done in a timely manner. And it's really interesting. Before we decided to take this project into our own hands, I mean, I'm not a construction guy. I'll be straight up with you. I don't like it. I love working with my hands, but I love working outside. I actually ended up really enjoying the framing project, though. It was awesome. Learned a lot. Enjoyed the process. It was a lot of fun, which surprised me because I generally don't like we remodeled the kitchen. I didn't enjoy that, right? But anyways, in the beginning, we're trying to call all these companies that do this stuff, or at least advertise that they do this type of work, right? And man, it's crazy because you call these people and they tell you they're going to call you back, and they never call you back. And then you finally get them on the phone and they tell you that they're going to show up to give you a quote, and they never show up. So you call them again, and then they finally show up after a week or two, and they take measurements and this and that, and then they tell you, I'll get you a quote by tomorrow. That's the one I heard a lot. And then they never send the quote. Literally never. And it's just crazy, man. And you know, it just leads me into entrepreneurship. This is something that this is a concept that I'm so passionate about, guys. If you want to start your own business, if you want to be your own boss and manager and have your own thing going on, you don't have to come up with some newfangled idea. You don't have to invent some new product. You don't have to necessarily have something that nobody else has. You know what you got to do? You got to answer your phone. You got to show up, and you got to do a good job. That's literally all you have to do. You can have 50 other people in your area that are already doing the same thing that you want to do. And I promise you, you can crush them. You can do 10 times better and have 10 times more work and make 100 times more money than they can make. If all you do is answer your phone, be nice, keep your word, show up, and do a good job. That's it. This is so simple. I'm about to pull my freaking hair out, man. I'm actually contemplating starting a construction company. This is just in my head. I haven't fleshed this out. I don't even know. I don't even know. It's crazy to me. I'm looking around. I'm like, there's literally millions of dollars to be made in my area. And I know for a fact I could make every last bit of that money by doing those things: answering my phone, showing up, keeping my word, and doing a good job. That's it. That is it. And you can crush the game. So if there's something that you want to do, if you will follow those simple principles, don't look to your left and your right and say, well, so-and-so's already had a landscaping company for 10 years. So-and-so's already had a construction company for 10 years. Look, it don't freaking matter, man. They might be doing a good job. If you know somebody in the industry that you want to get into, they might be doing a good job, but I guarantee you there's 50 others in that same industry that are doing a terrible job. What I'm saying is, it's really not that hard to shine. And it's really not that hard to corner the market in whatever industry you want to be in. I don't know if you guys know this, but when I retired from the Navy, I had a landscaping business. It was the first business I ever started. It was called Frogman Landscaping. And this was up in Virginia, and this was the summer after I got out of the Navy. I got out in January. I bought me a little trailer and a lawnmower and a weed eater and a blower and a couple of hand tools. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get my hands back in the dirt. I'm going to get back to doing what I did when I was growing up, just because I wanted to re-experience that. And I did landscaping for a summer. Now, I wore a collared shirt every single day and a decent pair of khaki pants. I don't care if I was down on my hands and knees pulling weeds. I was doing it in a collared shirt and a decent pair of khaki pants. And I drove a halfway decent truck, and I was nice. I showed up on time, and I answered my phone, and I didn't look like I was going to steal something out of your garage when I pulled up to your house. I'm sorry, but yes, the way you present yourself does matter. Now, I did have a beard, but I guess the collared shirt kind of counteracted it. Anyways, my first business I ever started, I made, and this is not a lot of money to a lot of you guys, but I think I averaged about $500 a day that whole summer in my first year of business. If I would have carried on with that business, I'd say within 5 years, it would have been a $1 million+ business if I would have kept it up. But we started 307 Project because that was our true, or what God revealed to us as our true mission and our true passion. So that's where that's at. That's what I've been doing. I've been framing up walls, man, learning a new skill. If you're looking from the outside and you think that I'm some celebrity or famous guy, not me, man. I'm out doing the same things you guys are doing, and that's the way I'll always be. It doesn't matter. I've always said an indicator of staying on ground level, for me personally, I'm not saying that you guys have to do this, but for me, is I will never hire anyone to cut my grass. If I'm ever too busy that I can't take an hour or so out of my day to get my hands in the dirt, to cut my grass, to weed eat, to blow off my driveway, to pull weeds, and take care of my own little space, then that's an indicator to me that I need to slow down a little bit and get back to my roots. Anyways, guys, just giving you a little comms check right there. Now, we'll talk real quick about a topic, a really interesting topic. And this came, I did a virtual speaking engagement the other day for a company, actually a good friend of mine. And one of the questions were discipline versus motivation. How do you operate? So which one do you subscribe to? Being like motivation or self-discipline? Now, it's really interesting because, to be totally honest with you, discipline or motivation, those two words don't really resonate with me when it comes to the way I live my life, when it comes to training, when it comes to business, when it comes to getting the job done. For me, it's not about discipline or motivation. You know, I tell people all the time with 307 Project, I told somebody the other day, I'm like, man, I bet I work 70 plus hours a week on 307 Project or things revolving around 307 Project to improve it. Whether it's phone calls, emails, Instagram, podcasts, Resurrected, you name it, speaking engagements, traveling, networking. It's a lot of stuff. But the work that I do, it doesn't really require discipline or motivation. I literally do it because it's what I want to do. It is my lifestyle. Now, maybe if you broke it down, you could see aspects of discipline, and maybe you could see motivation in there if you broke it. But those aren't the driving. Those have nothing to do. I'm doing this because this is what I love to and want to do. I could have no better mission in life other than being connected with you guys and trying to make a positive impact on whoever will listen. This is my lifestyle, man. Now, the word motivation. Look, motivation is actually I call it a fickle thing. Let me give you a quick example of motivation. Now, motivation, we led a thing the other day. I led a thing here in my local community for a local CrossFit gym. I called it Breakout. We took 14 people, they signed up, and we took them out, and I took them on a mission all night long. And it was tough, man. Like, I was not their friend. I may have told you guys about that in a previous episode. But it was what they wanted. It was a lot of fun for me. I got to get in like Navy SEAL instructor mode. You know what I mean? So now we're late deep into this mission. I've been hammering these cats all night long. It's like 3 a.m. and I decided I wanted to play a little game for them. We had just got done with some low crawl drills. Maybe we'll run. I won't even go into that yet. But anyways, they were cold, tired, and wet. And I said, I'll reward you guys now with one song request. So I let them give me a song request. And they chose some metal song. I didn't forgot what it was. I didn't forgot. But it was like a really like hard, like something you would play in the gym, right? And so I put it on YouTube, and I put my phone speaker up to my bullhorn. I had a bullhorn, and that's all I used that all night long. And I played them this song, and man, they got motivated, right? They went from being cold, tired, hungry, and wet to being so motivated because this song was playing, and they had a cadence, and the beat, it was upbeat, and they were rocking and rolling, and they thought they were about to just crush this thing, right? Well, we had a pretty long trek to our next objective, and guess what? When the song ended, and we still had a few miles left to go, well, they had got all motivated, right, by this music, and the song ended, so the source of their motivation went away, which that will always happen. If you're depending on something external to motivate you, it will eventually go away, just like that song did. Now, when that song went off, I gave it about 10 minutes, and they crashed hard. Hold on, guys. I'm writing something down. All right. Yeah, this song went off, and about 10 minutes later, these cats, this whole team, crashed hard because they had gotten so amped up and so motivated. And then when a source of motivation went away, right, they had got on this high, and man, they came down, and they were worse off. They were worse off after that song was over than they were before I played the song. You see what I'm saying? Look, when you're in a long mission, when you're doing something difficult and playing the long game, you have got to let the mission success and mission focus has to be what drives you. It cannot be some external thing. It cannot be some motivator, some person, something, money. It cannot be. It will not last. That external motivation will fail you. You have to be motivated by the mission in itself, the growth that you're experiencing. You have to find something. It has to be something that can be integrated into your lifestyle. It's not about motivation. Now, discipline. Discipline. Hey, let me let you guys in on a little secret. I don't make my bed in the mornings. I don't get up early unless it's to go deer hunting. I'm not, look, Discipline implies that you're doing something that you don't enjoy doing just for the simple fact that you think it's going to, I don't know, take you to the next level or something. Like, man, a lot of you guys may agree with this. I mean, a lot of you guys might not agree with this. Now, look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have structure in your life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't complete the task at hand. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do the things that you need to do in order to accomplish your mission. What I'm saying is you need to be on a mission to where you want to do the things that need to get done in order to complete the mission. You should be doing something. You should find, because that's what's sustainable, man. That is what is sustainable. You know, a lot of people think because I was in the military that like discipline is a big part of my life. Now, we are passionate about what we do, and we do a really good job at what we do. But it's not because we make our beds in the morning. It's not because we get up early every morning. It's because we're doing what we want to do. It's because we are doing what we were called to do. You guys, I hope you're seeing the difference here. I'm not putting down discipline. But a lot of people think because I was in the military, I can't tell you how many guys that do that make their bed in the morning, that get up super early, that have super good are crazy about their handwriting and all this, and they're like, oh, well, that's just from the military. Dude, it won't like that in the SEAL teams. It was not like that in the SEAL teams. I almost think that we were anti-discipline in the SEAL teams. Like, we absolutely hated it when we had to cut our hair or shave our face or do something like wake up early or make our bed. Now, we would stay up all night long running and gunning because we liked the dark. The darkness was our friend. We worked hard. We freaking put the work in because we were doing what we were called to do. But it really wasn't, it never felt like it was about discipline to me since we really graduated boot camp. It just wasn't, to me, it wasn't like that. I don't know. I don't tie that word in with the culture and my experience in the military. I made a post about this. It said, motivation and discipline no longer resonate with me. Mission success must become integrated with your lifestyle and your purpose. In other words, the success of the mission that you're on is what needs to be driving you, because that is going to be permanent and sustainable. If you're relying on discipline and motivation to drive you, discipline implies, again, that you're doing something that you wouldn't necessarily want to do in order to level up. Motivation is fickle. It's external. It comes and goes. The rest of this post says, honor, commitment, tenacity, courage, wisdom, confidence, and humility will produce success, but only when paired with decades of relentless forward motion. Just keep showing up, do the best you can day after day, and everyone searching for the shortcuts will quit. You'll be the only one left standing, and to the victors go the spoils. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about real quick is, again, that mission focus, allowing that mission focus to drive you. We're going to talk about real quick, going back to entrepreneurship. We talked about how if you just answer your phone, show up on time, keep your word, and do a good job, it's almost impossible for you to fail in whatever you do. Last piece of advice that I want to give you is talking about that mission focus. Look, from day one of 307 Project, I have always been focused completely on the mission, on the product, on the people. Completely. I have never, ever made money-based decisions. So we have focused on the mission. We've given it our complete attention. We've focused on the products that we put out and having fun with them and doing what we love and just being good people. We've always put that as the centerpiece of our focus. What do most people do when they go to start a business? What comes first? Money. Usually money is the first thing on their list. As a matter of fact, I work with plenty of companies that won't do anything unless it's scalable and unless it makes a bunch of money. Money is at the forefront of their focus. Now, the interesting thing is, if you can change your mindset, become 100% mission focused, and make the mission, the customer, the product, make those things your priority. Give those things your focus. The money magically appears. As a matter of fact, if you make mission success, customer service, and make your product as best as you can possibly make it, the customer will want to pay you more than you're worth. They'll want to pay you more than you're even asking for. This is an interesting thing, man. This is kind of an entrepreneurship-based conversation here, but if you can just focus on the mission 100%, and execute on the mission, everything else will follow automatically. It's that easy. All right. This was kind of a spur of the moment comms check. I hope there's no confusion revolving around discipline and motivation. Look, I'm not putting you down. I'm not putting anybody down. That if you want to, if those are pillars of your life, discipline and you found a way to make them work, go for it, man. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. Nothing that I have achieved, SEAL training, ultra running, business, life in general, nothing that I have achieved can I credit it to discipline and motivation. What I can credit my achievements to is pursuing the things that I really genuinely want to do. That's the simplest way that I can put it. And focusing on the mission, on the customer, on the product, and not all the ancillary bull crap. And it's worked for me. I hope that makes sense. All right, guys. Whew. Good comms check. This comms check was brought to you by Natural Rapport. Man, you guys got to check out some Natural Rapport if you've got dogs. You guys just got to check them out. It's what we feed our dogs. They make the best pet essentials on the market. They're all gentle, safe, and effective single ingredient products made in America. These things are awesome, man. We give our dogs these beef livers. We clean their ears using their products. We wash them using their shampoos. We love our dogs. We treat them with the best stuff, and the best stuff comes from Natural Rapport. Check them out. if you have dogs. They've got a whole lineup of Uncomplicated Pet Essentials at www.nattyrap.com, NATTYRAP.com. November, Alpha, Tango, Tango, Yankee, Romeo, Alpha, Papa.com. Check them out on Instagram at Natural Rapport. Thank you so much, Natural Rapport, for sponsoring this episode. Guys, I'm going to check off of here and jump on Resurrected with Nathan. Love you guys. Nuff said.